Throwback. Yeah. Hit the like button, y'all. Carry right, yeah. Marissa Allberg. So, Throwback Thursday. Let's get real about relationships Thursday. Yo, I say, yo, Urban Therapy with Sun 752. And this your daily, It's the daily go get mism show. You think it ain't when it is? You think it won't when it is? We are here and we are in motion. We do this thing, taking all fast lane, no coasting, and everything is gonna be all right. We talking about letting a man be a man tonight. We talk, let a man be a man tonight. What does it mean to you? Yeah, a man tonight. Did he spend 100 grand tonight? Yo, let a man be a man tonight. I said, did he have a good plan tonight? I gotta let a man be a man tonight. Hey, yo, will he build and expand tonight? I don't know. Let a man be a man tonight. He ran through a red light. Yo, let a man be a man tonight. Hunting, fishing, gatherings, and shit tonight. Let a man be a man tonight. Go work, bring home the bacon tonight. Let a man be a man tonight. Nigga gotta lay the pipe. I get the let a man be a man tonight. I said, gotta treat his kids and wife right. Let a man be a man tonight. Be responsible and loving tonight. I said, let a man. I said, make sure he never lose a fight. I said, let a man be a man tonight. He might be jealous, yo, that's in his own right. I said, let a man be a man tonight. I said, he ain't always gotta be right, but he got a man be a man tonight. I said, what, be a man tonight. I said, I be a man tonight. I said, I be a man tonight. So that's what we talking about. Let a man be a man? That's about as subjective of a topic that you can have. What is letting a man be a man? That might mean so many different things to so many different people, but it's something that we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to have this conversation tonight, and it should be a good one. Let a man be a man. When you hear that, or if you've ever used that term or had it used for you, in which case you were probably a man, you know, what did that mean? Because I've seen it or heard it used interchangeably. I've heard let a man be a man to excuse some toxic, irresponsible, or really, just some not so good shit that a man might do. And I've also heard it as a rescue call. Like, yo, let the man be a man. You always holding him back. You always, stop nagging the God. Let him go ahead and do what he gotta do. Without you looking over his shoulder, having him check in every 5 minutes. Let him concentrate, batten down the hatches and do his thing. So when you hear let a man be a man, it could be a whole lot of different stuff. It could be a whole lot of different stuff. But we're going to take a look at that tonight and see the effect that letting a man be a man has on women, children, family, the community, and the world that we live in. And somewhere along the night, we should probably have a talk about what men are being men these days. Maybe some examples of some people that we know that we may believe have been acting in a manly manner or act like a little bitch, which could very well be the case in some scenarios. So what we gonna do, what we gonna do, I'ma put my hardware away. Then I come back with a whole lot to say. I said, we gonna make sure that we put away our toys and raise the boys to men and make sure now and then that we still stay tight. Let's get the story right. So let's go. All right. That's how it's going down, y'all. What up? Welcome to the Daily Go Gettemism Show. I'm your host, Sun 752. I am your host, Sun 752. I'm feeling like a real man should, and I hope y'all feeling like real men and women should Also, this is Throwback Thursday. Let's get real about relationships Thursday. And we are talking about let a man be a man. That's it. There's a reason why there's a question mark on the end of this title of this show. Let a man be a man. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Where are we going with this? Where are we going with this? So yeah. So that's where we going with this whole thing tonight. Make sure y'all hit the like button, share the show. YouTube is acting funny. They really only let me in the algorithm on the second hour of the show. So I need all the help that I can get in order to make it to the second hour. So as you come on in, as you start whopping your way on all up in the crib, just go ahead and hit that like button. Bow. Go ahead and bow. Just boom. Hit the like button. All right. T. Carey Wright, morning, noon, and night. It's always great to have my peoples going directly into your site. And Maritza Allberg, Ritzy Allberg all up in the house. What's good? What's good? Let me see. Let me see. So, hello, Ritzy. Usually pretend to be doing Wakanda dances when he plays. That's what's up. Marissa says a man got to do what a man got to do. I was the man holding everything down. Ooh. Well, see, that's kind of like what we have to address. You know what I mean? When a man leaves the job for a woman to do, can he honestly come back and say that he's being emasculated, or that he's not getting a chance to be a man? Or like, is this woman getting in the way because he was out of the way? And honestly, man, this is the beef. This is the beef that I have. This is the beef that I have with cats that are in and out of jail. That are in or out of jail. Like, listen, you're not home long enough to do a man's job. And when you are home, if you into the streets or whatever, you practicing not being home, in which you leaving the home manless. So who's going to play the role of the man in the house or the man of the house if you are constantly absent from the crib? We need you at the crib. So what needs to happen is you need to get your body out of the streets, your mind out of the streets, and get it into the home. Now, of course, some men are going to make excuses and say, well, what I'm doing out there in the streets is so we'll have a better home to be in. I'm like, but here's the thing, my dude. Here's the thing, homie. You don't have no end game. I ain't never heard a drug dealer outside of the movies talk about, I'm not going to sell this shit no more after I get this amount of money. Or I'm going over here and I'm going to wash this money and make it good. And I'm going to stop selling as soon as this comes up or that comes up. Most cats that, wash their money by putting up legitimate businesses wind up getting knocked because they never stayed out of the streets while waiting or helping their legitimate businesses flourish. So, but that's another story that aligns with the story that we're telling. We're trying to paint a picture here. Paint the perfect picture. I think Prince or somebody said something like that in one of his songs. All right, so let me go ahead and put my shirt on. Let me go ahead and put my shirt on and we'll be all right. Be all right. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting around here. I was sitting around here with nothing on. I ain't had nothing on but a robe. I ain't had nothing on but a robe. You know what I'm saying? Get this thing together. You better get yourself together. Yeah. Yeah, when I put on my when I put the cow bones on, I feel the ancestors. I feel the ancestors, you know what I mean? They come and they speak to me and guide me through the process. Abel Aguilar, what up, Unc? What's up with you? Thanks for coming through, my dude. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. We talking about gotta let a man be a man. Gotta let a man be a man. So we're gonna talk a little bit about manhood, but we're gonna talk about it from the standpoint of our opinions, our experience, and our expectations, because that's really all we have. When it all boils down to it, when it all comes down to it, that's what we have. We have what we've seen, what we've heard, what we've done, and what we know. That's what we got. So I ain't gonna be a whole lot of excuses being made tonight. We're gonna go ahead and get into this thing. Just go ahead and rock. Yeah. There you go. All right, so let me get my seat together. Yeah. Yeah. We good? Levels is good. Levels is good. Levels is good. All right. So what are y'all initial thoughts? And please, we only got 4 votes in the poll. Very rarely do the likes have more hits than the poll. And like I said, YouTube ain't let me into the algorithm into the second hour. Really, they want the third. That's the pattern I've been noticing, for the past week. But it's all good. We gonna rock out. So only 4 votes. So I ain't really gonna go over this because 4 votes just mean 4 people, and it's not that 4 people aren't relevant. Maybe the problem is me. Could it be that I made the question vague? He doesn't lead, provide, and protect, so she does it. Is she emasculating him? I think the question is pretty easy. I mean, I think the question is pretty easy. If you leave your woman to do the job that you're supposed to do, but you're not doing it, can you be mad at her because she stepped up to the plate and got the job done? Now, see, when I say let a man be a man, when I think about manhood, the first thing that I really think about is responsibility. For me, some of the main facets of being a man are being responsible, being understanding, being a better listener than talker, being energetic. And I say energetic because that's the opposite of being lazy. I don't know about y'all, but an easy man is not something in my life that has been easy to put up with. When you see a able-bodied man that should be getting up off his ass and getting something done, and he ain't moving. You know what I'm saying? Now, anybody and everybody can be tired at times. But if you tired every time it's time to do something significant, every time it's time to step up to the plate, every time it's time to lead, every time it's time to be creative, every time it's time to put something together that's significant, every time it's time to be the example that's set for the babies. I mean, what the guan? What I'm gonna do? What I'm gonna do? You're not doing nothing. Him not doing nothing. So you got to do something. So that's where we are. That's where we are with it. So those are my facets of a man. A man has to be a protector. That's not to say that you have to be able to knock out any man that you come up against, and it definitely doesn't mean that you should go out there picking fights just to prove your macho image or your masculinity. I'm not saying that at all. We're not doing that. But when I say a man should be a protector, first of all, your woman and your children should always know that you have their back. That, to me, that's not asking a whole lot. Your woman and your children should know that you have their back. So when we go somewhere with daddy, when your woman goes somewhere with her man, she knows that ain't nobody gonna fuck with her. Ain't nobody gonna disrespect her. Ain't nobody gonna harm her. You gonna make it to the movies. You gonna make it to dinner. You gonna make it to the park bench to walk through the park under the moonlight, and everything is gonna be okay. You ain't gotta worry about no predators running up. You ain't gotta worry about no bullies. You know what I'm saying? Being ignorant, mean, unkind, and unfriendly towards you. That's what I mean by being a protector. I'm not saying that you got to be like Popeye or Bluto, but your woman should have confidence that in public and in private that you got this. Like, ain't nobody going to hurt you. And that's including me. I'm not here to hurt you, baby. I'm here to love you. But if anybody tries to get close to you in a harmful way, they're going to have a problem because I'm here. So I'm definitely on notice, and I'm definitely top flight security out this bitch. But no, I'm not just going to go flying off the handle and knocking cats out and acting a fool because dudes out there in the street think you pretty. Shit, I think you pretty too. That's why we together. So, you know. So yeah, man has to be a protector. Now, I think where we run into a lot of our problems is when we start talking about the providing piece, because a lot of men these days don't really think that they should be a provider. You know, these women, they going to school, especially black women, and they have the highest education rate now out of all of the races, even though Charlie Kirk said that they was dumb and unqualified. A bunch of Harvard graduates that's DEI. Affirmative action. You might be smart enough to make it through Harvard, Yale, Columbia, Dartmouth, Princeton, University of Penn, the Brown. So that don't mean you can do no job. What up, Max? What's good? Good to see you, my dude. Always good to see you. Marissa says, a lazy man that can never be from God. I would not wish this on my worst enemy. You said Olivia was not playing. Who's Olivia? You don't mean olive oil, do you? Because she was definitely playing. You know what I mean? But anyway, yeah. So here, when we start talking about the whole providing piece, there seems to be a big gray area. Some people think that a man is supposed to pay for everything and be satisfied with that arrangement. As a matter of fact, he should promote that arrangement. Some people think that, the 50-50 thing is cool. Or, some kind of percentage where maybe the man pays the lion's share, but she should have to pay something. To each his own. Nonetheless, being a provider means more than just paying for everything. Think about what the word provide means. Like when you have a healthcare provider, they're not giving you money. They are performing a service. You know, so there are more ways to provide than just money. But we understand what the majority of people are talking about when they talk about a man being a provider. Like he should be bringing some money into the home, and I agree with that. I agree with that. I mean, a man should definitely be paying his share of whatever the cost of the home are. Ain't no way around that. Anish Khan? Wait a minute. Anish Khan? What's good? If I'm messing up your name, if I'm butchering your name, man, please forgive me for that. That's definitely not my intention. You know, blame it on my head, not my heart. I'm glad to see y'all come by. Miles, what's good? What's good? Thanks for coming through. Appreciate you. But yeah, so, you know, like I said, there are more ways for a man to provide than just money. A man should also provide. The protection piece, he should provide that. The loving piece, he should provide that. Understanding, he should provide that. The planning, he should provide that. You know, fresh ideas, solutions, he should provide that. There are a lot of ways that a man can respectfully and purposefully provide, and he should do that. He should do that. So are we talking about Charlie Kirk? Nope. We won't be talking about that tonight. And Anish says, I'm more interested in the sun shape you got. Oh, God. All right. You're out of here. Bitch ass nigga. See, this is what we talking about. This is what we see. You see this shit here? You see this type shit here? This is what I'm talking about. This is the opposite of a man right here. This is the opposite of a man. You know, a man would never come to a show and troll. Why would he do that? Why would he do that? You know what I'm saying? So he go bye-bye. He go bye-bye. All right. All right. I got my eyes on you now, Miles. I don't know. Because you talking about some, are you ninja? We not doing none of that dumb shit tonight. For real. We not doing none of that dumb shit tonight. So, all right. So, yeah. A man should be a provider. You know what I mean? He should be worth his weight. He should be worth his weight in protection. He should be worth his weight in relevance. He should be worth his weight in understanding. He should be worth his weight in relevance. He should be worth, if he's 250 pounds, that should be 250 pounds of good worth. Straight up and down. My man Jay Sloan is in the house. My brother from another mother, Jay Sloan. What up? And Marvina. What up, Marvina? Thanks for coming through. Appreciate you. Appreciate y'all. Always good to see y'all. Always good to see y'all. Marvina says, talking about people with no respect for grown folks or real life. These are the games that we gotta play, and this is what we're working with. Murder is murder. What up? Good to see you always. And Jasmine, hey everyone, good morrow. And pleasantries to the brother son. Wow, I appreciate that. So yeah, so we talking about let a man be a man. That's an old saying. It's an old term that a lot of old heads use. It is Throwback Thursday. Let's get real about relationships Thursday. This is the Daily Go Getimism show. If you didn't know, I'm your host, Son 752, aka Omar, with the feeling like a real man should. And I hope y'all feeling like real men and women should as well. Tonight we talk about gotta let a man be a man. What are we talking about? What are we talking about when we say gotta let a man be a man? Because manhood means different things to different people. Now, I've told y'all what I think about manhood, with some of the aspects, some of the attributes, of manhood and being a man are. I'm interested to know what some of y'all's are. Murder says provide and protect. I can't argue with that. I can only agree wholeheartedly. All I can do is wholeheartedly agree with that. Make sure y'all hit the like button too, y'all. Please hit the like button, share the show, subscribe to the channel. If you can't subscribe to the channel, you ain't feeling it that much, but please hit that like button. I need that. Need that. I'm algorithmically challenged. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you. Ever since last week with that Charlie Kirk show, you know what I mean? It been I think they put the hit out on everybody. Marvina says, my childhood friend got to town on Saturday. He had a job on Tuesday. Sounds like a man with a plan. No man I know is going to sit on their ass and be a liability and be a bill to somebody else. No real man that I know is going to have that. Now, I don't see anything wrong with a woman holding a man down, during his down times. But a real man ain't going to allow himself to be down but a minute, even if he's not matching her salary or beating it. He's making sure that he's making a contribution until he can get right. But when we talk about let a man be a man, we're talking maybe the key word is let a man be a man. So we're talking about a situation where a male's manhood may be being taken away from him or restricted or limited. So somebody is saying, yo, man, let him do his thing. Let him do his thing. Let a man be a man. Now, for some people, letting a man be a man is, letting him be toxic. Because we kind of have to put together let a man be a man and that old adage, well, a man gonna be a man. Now, when you hear let a man be a man, you're kind of talking about a plea. When you're saying a man is going to be a man, you're probably talking about something that's already happened, and it may be a little toxic and maybe a little out of control and not necessarily a good thing. So let's do it like this. And what up, that boy Ro? What's good? Thanks for coming through. Hold on, let me read y'all comments before I get into this. Marissa says, serious talk this morning. Word up. Brad Mason says, at least protect and make the home feel safe and the family feel loved if he can't provide. At the very least, he should be able to do that. It shouldn't even be a question about whether that's hard or easy. Let me see. Murder says, a man shouldn't have a family if he can't provide. Well, anybody can take a fall or loss or make a bad decision or even get sick. But like I said, provide means more than just the money that you bring in. There's more to providing than that. Marvina says, I have a man in my family that lives off of his mother. I can't deal with that. Yeah, that ain't sexy. That ain't handsome. You know what I mean? That ain't attractive. Nah, 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 nah. That ain't cute. That ain't fine. Mm-mm. Nah, it ain't none of those adjectives. Nah, that ain't what you want to see. But what I was gonna go with this whole thing about letting a man be gotta let a man be a man, and a man is gonna be a man. Think about how those two ways of putting it sound similar, but you can see that they're used in two totally different contexts. Okay, so let's do it like this. Okay. A man wants to buy some power tools and maybe a motorcycle. Bills are paid, everything is taken care of, or whatever. He want to take some of his money from the family savings and buy himself a brand new, I don't know, 1,000cc motorcycle. Is that let him gotta let a man be a man, or is that a man gonna be a man? Which one is it? I'll repeat the scenario. A man wants to buy a motorcycle. He wants to get his vroom vroom on. Vroom vroom. Wee 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 wee. The house note is paid, or the rent. The kids taken care of. Everything's straight. All the bills, everything is current. He want to take some of the money and go buy him a ring. Is that gotta let a man be a man? Or is that a man gonna be a man? Which one is it? Which one is it, y'all? Which one is it? All right. Jasmine says, in my family, we try to follow a simple formula. God is the authority over man. He is authority of her who is cherished and well loved, and together they bring up the children. Well, I like that. That's cool. That's cool. Jason says, hola. Okay. Marina says, I bow out of that question. You bow out of that question? Okay. Jasmine says, all right, hold on. Okay. Jasmine says, that's a man gotta be a man. That's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking. Okay. So, all right. So, ladies, your friend from back in the day, maybe you haven't seen her in a while or whatever, and she comes to visit you at your house. You and your husband, or you and your man, y'all at the crib, your girlfriend is coming through. Hey girl, hey, how you doing? Blah blah. Well, listen, this is my husband, blah 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 blah. Look, I'm gonna go make these little snacks that I had prepared in the kitchen, and blah blah blah. And so y'all talk or whatever, you know what I mean? I'll be right back. And while she's going to go get the snacks for everybody, the husband is cutting eyes at the friend, checking out the body work, maybe even giving the signals like, what's up? What's up with you? Is that gotta let a man be a man, or is that a man gonna be a man? Which one is it? In short, the husband is showing a little bit too much favor to a friend of the family. A friend that he doesn't know, somebody brand new, while his wife is holding it down, going to go make snacks, coming out with the good fruit plate or the hors d'oeuvres, and he half-assed trying to holler at her girlfriend. Is that gotta let a man be a man, or a man gonna be a man? Which one is it? Which one is it? All right. Jasmine says, we as people often try to excuse horrible behavior of our men by saying, oh, let them be a man. And that is not good. Interesting. Okay. All right. And she says neither. So she doesn't think that that's either. Okay. Jasmine says, that is a man may need a conversation. That's a man who may need a conversation from another man who can teach him about being rude and inappropriate. I ain't mad at that. Marvina says that's a problem. All right. Marvina says all men look, but not all men lunge. All right. Now I'm going to put that one in the let a man going to be a man category, because normally when I hear a man is going to be a man, they're not talking about a man acting appropriately. Unfortunately, no. Most of the time when you hear about a man doing some fuck shit, like trying to holler at his wife's friends or family members. Yeah, a man gonna be a man. In other words, he gonna look. A lot of times, the woman winds up getting blamed for the shit. Well, you know a man gonna be a man, so you shouldn't have been wearing that, or you shouldn't have been cutting your eyes, or I know how you do. But a man is gonna be a man, so a woman has to go over and above in order to control herself and control the situation, because a man gonna be a man. What you know? Terry Hawkins holding it down for the D all day, every day. 365 days a year. 12 months. 52 weeks. What's going on, Ma? Always good to see you. Always good to see you. But yeah, most of the time when you hear somebody say a man is going to be a man, it's because he did some shit. Like, he got a primary family, but he got another family somewhere out there. Or he got a baby on the way somewhere out there. Or he doing something trifling somewhere out there. A man is going to be a man. So by that premise, a man can pretty much get away with any kind of bullshit as long as some other men have done the same bullshit. So how did manhood become so toxic? And the other confusing part about the whole a man is going to be a man thing is that same man may have the excuse that the gotta let a man be a man had. In other words, he may have paid all the bills. He may be the primary financial provider, period. So he feels like he should have the green light to go out there and disrespect his wife and family all he wants. Because, a man gonna be a man. A man gonna be a man. Crazy work. Crazy work. All right. What we talking about? Jasmine says, well, I think having the wherewithal of common sense, we should at least remember the fact that we should have a respectable unspoken rule when in each other's company. I'm definitely on your side. I just understand how the other side thinks. And sometimes, you know how they say the squeaky wheel gets the grease. And unfortunately, the toxic side are normally the ones that make the most noise. We don't hear from the non-toxic side as much. Gotta let a man be a man? Well. Ooh, well. Ooh, yeah. Oh, well. Gotta let a man, 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 gotta let him take a stand. Make sure that he always take care of the fam. And if he can't do that, get a baseball bat, hit him beside the head, and make sure the blood is red. But I ain't saying make sure the man is dead. Just make sure he stands by what he said. He said that he would be a provider and not a rider. But maybe he should be a rider. Yo, just get inside of the real issue. Yo, you're like tissue and somebody is wiping the ass because they is lacking the class. Now I'm saying boom bash. That's your head and face. Yo, you gotta clear out some space. Mace is getting sprayed in your eyes so you can realize that it's your turn to have your eyes burn. All right. Okay. All right. Hold on. All right, we good. Levels is good. Make sure y'all hit the like button, y'all. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Throwback Thursday. Let's get real about relationships Thursday. We talking about gotta let a man be a man. Gotta let a man be a man. Really? Okay. All right, let's do it. While we talking, can I ask y'all to do something? Can you put in the comments, for those of y'all who in the comments and even y'all who in the background, now I mean scared to write or deciding to just listen. Come out for a second. I want to know who you have considered to be real men in your lives. I don't care whether it was your dad, your big brother, your uncle, your grandfather, a man that you never met but you know of that may have been part of your family or even not. Somebody influential. It could have been your neighbor. There are plenty of men out there who have shown themselves to be of the real man ilk. But then we'll take a look inside of what a real man is supposed to be, because it's very subjective. Real man. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? All right, let's go. All right, my man Jay Sloan says to me, let a man be a man is about women giving men the space to handle things in a masculine way, as opposed to the way a woman would handle those things. You can always tell who thinks about what they write before they write it, and who thinks about what they say before they say it. You can always tell. Y'all doing good. Marvina says, I know a lot of men that cheated on their women, but I never met a man that didn't provide for his family. So I hear you. That's what I'm saying. And often because he's bringing money into the household and holding it down that way, that's giving some men the green light to do all that old toxic shit. Now, a lot of people don't really understand. If you've grown up around this toxicity, sometimes you can be right in the thick of it and miss the point of how a man disrespecting his family by creating other families and shit like that. Sometimes we forget how that can affect a family outside of just that physical act. Because we can say like, well, daddy always came home. He didn't stay out for nights, and he never abused mommy or never abused abused the children or whatever. He was out of pocket, but he wasn't totally out of pocket. But see, when you discount or undermine the energy of toxicity that kids can feel, it's like when a child knows that they parent, when they know their father is in jail, they know he's in prison, and people have been telling the child that the father is in school. Now the child knows because he's heard conversations. You know what I mean? He's heard conversations. He ain't no school where daddy can't come home during no breaks. All right, so children sometimes carry the burden of having to lie and having to make excuses for what's going on in the home. And that can affect them by hindering their academic performance because they're unable to concentrate. When you have a toxic home, you often have a toxic child in the classroom. The two seem to go hand in hand. They really do. When you have a child that can do the schoolwork, that is, mentally gifted or at least intelligent enough to be able to grasp the concepts of math, English, science, history, whatever. But for some reason, he can't get it down for a period in his life. Often it's because there's shit going on in the home that's sucking up all of his emotional energy, which is affecting his ability to really, his or her ability to really think. So when children know that mommy and daddy ain't getting along, or mommy is sad all the time because of the shit that daddy is doing out there in the streets, and we know what's going on because he or she has heard those conversations, and who doesn't feel bad for their mom when you know that your mom is doing the right thing, but your dad ain't doing the right thing? Like your dad is a cheater and your mom is holding it down. Now that's another story. It's an even worse toxic story when the dad is out there trying to chase ass and mommy, get some extracurricular dick. That's even worse. We're gonna save that. Not right now. But yeah. So, you put your woman in a position to have to try to keep from being embarrassed because if she knows that her man is out there, then other people know. And then people talk. You got neighbors, co-workers, people at church who see your man out there acting a fool, being wild. He chases skirts like it don't hurt. So this can affect the whole family because everybody has to pretend that what's going on ain't going on. And that ain't no easy thing that's not easy to deal with. That's not easy to deal with at all. So a man is going to be a man thing really takes a toll on the family. A man is going to be a man is really going to it really takes a negative toll on the family structure. Yeah. I dare to say that a man is going to be a man may be the cancerous cyst or cancerous growth in the family unit. It can fuck up a nuclear family bad, real bad. You know what I'm saying? All right. Jasmine says, now see to me, that phrase means just the way men talk with each other when ain't no women around, like like y'all is rough, like y'all be talking crazy. Well, all men can't talk the same around all men. Real shit. Because not all men co-sign toxic behavior. Now, here's the thing. Some men who don't co-sign the toxic behavior might wind up, quote unquote, breaking the man code and talking what might not be none of his business. It is what it is. Now, I'm definitely not the type of man that condones snitching, but that don't mean I have to condone toxic behavior. There is a neutral zone there. And you can't be no little pussy and be scared to get in the neutral zone or pick a side. You know what I'm saying? So, but I know what you're saying. You talking about men swapping female war stories. I get that. I've definitely participated in that in my younger years. You know what I'm saying? I was young. Pissing contests happened. Marvina says, my dad, my husband, my brothers, those are the real men. Okay. All right. Jason Sloan says, real men. My father, my stepfather, my uncles, my grandfathers, plus Nat Turner and Ric Flair. I like that. That's a hell of a variety there. And really mine pretty much mirrors yours. My dad, my stepdad, my uncles, but not all of them. But I have to say on both sides of the family, pretty much. My grandfathers. All right. Jasmine says, and they end up worse because a child's mind that is essentially forced into the role like an actor out of this. We get the insecure, jealous, I don't know who I want to be type of man. You're not wrong, though. Hit the like button, y'all. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Hit the like button, please. Pretty, please. I ain't too proud to ask. I probably won't beg, but I ain't too proud to ask consistently. Not at all. Jasmine says, with that question, I had to think about every man that I ever encountered in my life. I mean, what? Wait. With that question, I had to think about that every man that I've ever encountered in my life meant something to me, for me, about me, or just passing me. Every single man, not including my immediates. Okay. And she also says, I can't even describe the joy and the wonderful things. That's my dad. My brother is my uncle's mother, grandfather. My brother is my mother's grandfather. I can't even describe how I got my whimsical about me. All right, cool. Okay. All right. We rocking with that. That's a good look. All right. So yeah, when you have an influential male in your life or a real man, it has an effect on you. And fortunately, and sometimes unfortunately, it can have the effect of you raising the bar of expectations on other men that you meet. So for women, you have boyfriends or men that you would consider marrying or have married, whatever. You may place those expectations of being a real man, a responsible man, a decent man, a caring man, a forward-thinking man, a creative man, a leading man. You may put those expectations on the men that you deal with. And unfortunately, a lot of times these days, it ain't like that. It ain't like that. These cats ain't doing what they used to do. And I hate to talk like that. You know why I hate to talk like that? Because too many people talk like that. Do you understand what I'm saying? I hate to talk like that because too many people are talking like that. Too many people are talking like that. I don't. Marvina says, I blame some of my nephews loafing on my sister. Nobody required him to do anything in life. Now he is 54, living off of his mother, and it makes me crazy. Wait a minute. Oh, first teach them to be men. Okay. Jasmine says, what I'm trying to say is I was blessed to have the men in my family that I have. LOL. Gifted, I will say. Some are still here and others have went to sleep. Okay. All right. So, here's the part of the program that I really don't want to go into, but I got to. We're going to have this conversation about what emasculation is. Because this is one of those terms that, especially on the internet, we throw around a lot. Emasculation. He feels emasculated. She's emasculating him. What are we saying? Because one thing is for sure. If the man is being emasculated, we ain't letting a man be a man. We ain't letting that man be a man. Now, what we have to find out is that man being emasculated in theory, or is he being emasculated in actuality? Is this literal or is it figurative? And has this man brought on his own feelings of emasculation? Because this is what the poll question is dealing with. The poll question is dealing with whether this man is stepping up and doing what he's supposed to do. Is he fulfilling the expectations that he was supposed to fulfill? Is he keeping his promises? Because that's what a man does. A man, sets the standard. He says what he's going to do and he does it and he follows through. Hey, that's the expectation of a man. You don't like it? Get out of the man's fear. Now, if a man is doing what he's supposed to do, what he said he's going to do, he keeps this, he gives the guarantee or the promise, and he fulfills that promise, keeps the promise, well, then the man should be rewarded. Not rewarded just for existing, but being rewarded because he has set himself apart from so many men who throw shit out there just to be heard, just to be recognized, and then they don't deliver on shit. Always talking about what they want to do and what they going to do one day. But they never do shit. Simple math. Everything starts at 1. If you can't get to 1, you can't get to 100. You can't even get to 2. 2 don't come before 1. But the 2 of y'all might be together waiting for the 1 to make the first step. All right. So this whole emasculation thing, what we doing? Now, one thing that I seem to understand is that a woman starts to lose some of her attraction for a man. Maybe not the whole thing, but a woman starts to lose some of her attraction for a man when he's not delivering on the promises that he's made, or when he's not acting in a responsible manner and kind of, it kind of like, he act like a little bitch. So this is more than he lost his job on some fuck shit and ain't looking for one no time soon. This is bigger than that. This is like the son needs an example of what a man should be, and you ain't really doing that. Your daughter, that daddy's girl that you created, is not seeing the example of what she should expect when she starts dating. And we need you to do that. So, in the event that a man is not providing, he's not contributing, he's not being helpful, and he may even be a liability. I don't know too many men that have to get an allowance from their woman and they good with that. Now, sure, any and every man can always kick it like, yeah, but when I had it, I was giving you everything. I held it down for you. I paid for everything. I took care of everything. All right, that's cool. You was doing that at a time when everything wasn't needed to be paid for. But now, at this time when something needs to be paid for, you're giving nothing. So anybody can go through a bout with depression and not be working for a while and not even have the energy or the mental or emotional capacity to go out there and be the warrior or the predator that's gonna, you know what I mean, go ahead and catch the animal, skin the animal, and cook up some meat. Anybody can be down for a while, but when you are down, when you don't have to be down, and you are getting comfortable with being down because somebody else is holding it down, and now you got the excuse in your head that, yeah, well, I did it when I had it. Now it's, let her do it for a little while. Well, sir, just be prepared for the pussy not to get as wet as it used to get. You got to prepare yourself for that. Like when you was doing what you was supposed to do, that shit was gushy, mushy. It was spraying all over the place. You was changing sheets frequently. Now you need some KY. And she don't be feeling like it all the time. Hey, look, man. Look, for those who are affected by this, you already know what I'm talking about. I'm just, you know what I mean? I'm just putting up lost women signs. That's all I'm doing. I'm posting up. I got my staple gun. I got my staple gun. I'm putting up lost women sign. Oh, look, like, yo, my woman twat used to be like top notch, 5-star. Now that shit. Now I'm in the KY zone, son. I'm in the KY zone. I'm looking for the pussy. What happened to? Have you seen the good pussy? I can tell you where to find it. I can tell you where to find it. It's lost in your irresponsibility. You go to your responsibility and you'll find it again. You'll be changing sheets again. Right now, all you doing is wiping off this old clear, greasy. You know what I am talking about. All right. Jason says, I am definitely far from perfect, but I think I would have turned out to be a monster if not for the guidance of the real men in my life. You know what? Hold on. Nah. 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 Man, I grew up with my biological father, and I had my stepdad in my life who considered me to be a straight up and down son. So I grew up with two fathers, where most black men grow up with none. So I'm blessed beyond belief, and I see that you are too. It's not something you can discount. You never got the symbols before. You got it today. You know what I mean? You got it today. As Stephen B says about the poll, I could vote for all of them. Depends on the circumstances. Sometimes a woman should be patient, but when it's clear that he's not stepping up, someone has to, especially if there's a kid. Man, we got to represent for the babies all the time. One thing that my dad always told me, he said, son, you got to act like the cameras are on you all the time. So, you know, instead of paying for something, you want to swipe something. Just remember, somebody going to see that shit. Now, here you are with $200 in your pocket and you getting locked up for something 50 cents because you forgot that the camera was on. It don't make no sense. Treat yourself like somebody is always looking and somebody's judging. It doesn't mean that you have to live your life through the opinions of others, but it will have a positive effect on how you conduct yourself. He said, because anybody can say anything about you. They can lie on you. It's up to you to make what they're saying either true or false, because people going to talk. All right, so, okay. Jasmine says, yo, I just thought about that word and it sounds like an action, a long ass, drawn out, horrible, miserable process that takes years off of your life. Who is making time to do that to men? Do this to men? She. The thing is, Jazzy, it can happen not on purpose. And sometimes the reason why I said, is it happen literally or is it happen figuratively? Because a man can feel like he's being emasculated when he's really not. Especially if he takes no accountability in his actions. We on the internet, right? You know the kind of things that you see and hear on the internet. One of the things that I hear on the internet a lot is a lot of black men putting black women down. I see it way too fucking much. This shit is ridiculous. So if she has a baby and a child's father and a baby father that's not you know giving any kind of financial support, not even coming around a lot, or won't give up won't provide financially unless she starts fucking with him again. In other words, she got to give up some pussy, and then maybe he'll buy some school clothes and some supplies. But all these black men, they'll say things like, well, you chose that man. You know, that's a product of your choices. Like women going out here like, let me find me a dude that will get me pregnant and then not want to do shit for me or want me to be a part of a concubine or will totally disrespect me and not take care of his children. Let me go out and find that. I'm going to the club. I'm going to the club this weekend. I think I can find them. But what you will fail to hear, what up, my man Seka Sala? Was good. What you will fail to hear 95% of the time is any accountability that the men take. And you know why? Because the men they're not around to defend themselves or to say shit. But the woman is there. She right there on the internet. And here are all these other men acting like they the man. Like none of them are irresponsible. None of these motherfuckers talking shit. These bunch of scorned ass pussies. That's how they be sounding to me. I'm like, so let me get this straight. Y'all telling this chick that just because she has multiple baby fathers, that she has done nothing but create her own demise through her choices and her missteps. So her mistakes are all of her own. And the dudes that are part of the equation, whether they locked up, unavailable, or whatever's going on, well, she shouldn't have chose them. Meanwhile, I know these niggas. They done got with chicks that burnt the shit out of them. I'm talking about STIs, STDs, VD. Chicks then sent them to the clinic, blamed babies on them, had real babies on them, treating them like shit. So I understand you speaking out of your anger. So, and these are the motherfuckers that will claim to be emasculated. They're the ones who will claim to be emasculated. See, we got a problem out here, y'all. We got a problem. We got a problem and it's major. All right. Okay, hold on. Jason says the emasculation question also has to be talked about in light of who gets to decide what a real man is. Men defining it is not the same as having women define it for us. Man, I got a lot to say about that. Jasmine says, you mean it like not as in he can't or not as in he won't? I think I'm talking about more like he won't. I think I'm talking about more along the lines of he won't. Okay. Jasmine says, me over looking in my me over here looking for my imaginary any kind of distraction right now. Marquita says she may also be stressed out from the worry and tired from working overtime to pay all of the bills. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Jasmine says factuals at Marvina, and this is usually what it is in the first place. Jason says I never got the symbols before. Okay, damn. I came down before I read. Oh, okay, all right. Sekasala says she was embarrassed. She didn't want to go home and always want to come over my house. I got nothing. Kyle Levine says a true man's man. Tori 2200. What's going on, Ma? She says sexless relationships could change the whole game. Whew. Look, if you was getting ass anytime you wanted, and now you almost feeling like you got to pay your girl to do something strange for some change or something weird for a beard, will you do something weird for a beard, baby? Would you do it? Would you? Yeah, well, you know you in dire straits. You know you in the black hole. You in the black hole. You sure ain't in the pink one. Ha ha. And I would never encourage a woman to use sex as a weapon. I would never encourage that. But it's hard to tell somebody how to defend themselves or how to express how they feel offended. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But this whole emasculating thing, is she emasculating him because he doesn't have or hasn't shown what it takes to lead this family? Look, he ain't bringing no money in. Name ain't on the lease or the mortgage. Ain't even helping the kids with the homework. Can you at least take them to school? Look, while she at work and you got parent-teacher conferences around report card time, can you at least be the one to go up to the school and represent? It'll be a good look. Look, you're dad. You can't find time to do that? You know, when a nigga ain't got no job and he still ain't got no time, he gonna get put under that microscope. You don't like it? One way to claim busyness is to get yourself a job. You can claim OT. You can claim mandatory OT. Look, something. Even if you were managerial, you know, man, some managers get to go home early all the time, and some managers never get to go home. On call 24 hours. But when you ain't got no job and you talking about what you can't do or where you can't be and you can't make it to places on time, don't call it emasculating when she reminds you of what you haven't been doing. Don't call that emasculation. Motherfucker, she just made sure that, you know, she put out a friendly reminder. All I asked you to do was, I'm not asking you for a lot. All I'm asking you to do is blah, blah, blah. And you can't manage to do that. So when she starts reminding you of how she busting her ass and she keeping a roof overhead and she put the sheepskin hat on your head and the goose down on your back and the Timbs on your feet and the games for the PlayStation 5 that you playing, not to mention the 75 83-inch TV, 4K, OLED, the good shit. Shit got a 250 refresh rate. Anyway, you know, 200. All right. Anyway, so when she starts talking about all of this stuff and you talk about, well, she's emasculating you, well, you know, you can stop all of this by getting up off your ass. Let me introduce you to a few friends of mine. Monster.com, Career Builder, Indeed.com. I got more. Just saying. Let me show you how to update your resume. You don't know how to interview? Let me show you how. You ain't got no clothes for the interview? Let me show you. If it's a video, interview, I'm gonna show you how you can make this shit look good. Shit. All right. Sigasala says, I don't know. As of late, I write a comment, but it don't seem, like you can see it for some reason. Well, I saw that, but I know what you're talking about. I don't know. I only see you, let me see, with 2 comments so far. That's all I see. Jasmine says, with communication being a key in most healthy relationships, when the relationship takes a sudden, awkward, bad turn and something goes awry, such as sex, this is the time for a key communication. And she also says, but what do most people do? Stay silent and hope something happens or something changes. I'm sorry. Jason says, too much disappointment and resentment can kill a woman's sex drive. So she may not be withholding as punishment or leverage, but genuine loss of attraction due to disappointment. Tori says, men should not be giving money to someone they are just dating, and vice versa. Folks be doing too much. Well, when we say provide, we talk about more than just money. Like earlier in the show, we was talking about, I was talking about being a provider is it could be financial, but it can also be emotional. It can be strengthening. It can be help. You know what I mean? Help. Help is a big thing because everybody needs help at some time. Help carrying something heavy. Help figuring out an equation or a situation. Help getting the kids to school. Help, with a leaky faucet or a roof or a grease stain in a driveway, grass being cut. There's so many ways that a man can provide other than just money. All he has to do is help. Being helpful is a big thing. It's a big thing. And there's so many ways you can be helpful beyond just the money. But I'll say this. A man should never want to be with a woman who he wouldn't want to give money to at all. That ain't what's up. That's absolutely not the move right there. Sometimes you can find yourself in that very position and wondering why. Like what we doing? What are we doing? Yeah, it happens. So this emasculation thing, it can take on the role of whoever is playing the parts. Jasmine says, I would say to the couple that happen to go through something like this, encouragement is one of the best actions that you can target, that you can forget to use. Word. And Richie says, I totally agree with you, son. Different types of help. Be helpful, be available. Make yourself available. It ain't that hard. My man Dave Figueroa, what's good? What's going on, my dude? Always a pleasure to see you. Always, always. Thanks for coming through. Thank you very much for coming through. So yeah, I don't know why a man would want to be with a woman who he would say to himself, nah, she ain't getting no money. I ain't saying that a man should pay, like out the gate, be paying for everything. No, because you wouldn't teach your sons to do that. Like, yeah, any girlfriend that you get, make sure you just give her all your money. No, I ain't saying that. I ain't saying nothing close to it. I definitely don't live my life that way. But if you dealing with a chick where you like, she better not ask for nothing. If you take it to yourself, she better not ask for nothing because I ain't got it. You want 6 chicken wings, salt, pepper, ketchup, hot sauce? Why are you looking at me? Like, I don't think that's a good place to be. That don't sound attractive. That don't sound attractive to me. So, yeah, I don't think, nobody wants to be there. But yeah, you can be all up in that area. You can be in that dimension. And I just don't think it's a good place to be. But the whole we talking about letting a man be a man, or you gotta let a man be a man. So that's the reason that we have to bring up this whole thing about emasculation. Because like I said, on the internet, you're going to hear these kind of terms. Also terms like being a simp and all of that kind of shit, Are there women who admit to emasculating a man? I've heard some admit to it. They may not have meant to do it at the time. In real time, they may not have meant to do it. Doesn't mean that they didn't do it. Tori says, helpfulness is essential and needed. Monetary gifts, just dating. Nah, y'all living like y'all married. That's interesting because I believe that going together is an audition to be married. That's an audition for marriage. I ain't gonna lie. Like I wouldn't deal with a chick that tells me that I can't have certain things until I marry her. I'd be like, oh, really? Okay. First of all, I've never been married. So I know I can get a lot without being married. But I can also give a lot, whether I'm married or not. So, one of the things that always captures my attention is, when people say, I wouldn't do this for a man, or I wouldn't do this for a woman, or I left out a word. I wouldn't do this just for a man, or I wouldn't do this just for a woman. And I think to myself, like, what would you do it for? What would you do it for, and who would you do it for? If you wouldn't change your ways, or change the way that you do things, or make some adjustments for a woman or a man that you are seriously interested in beyond just the physical, well, who the fuck would you do it for? Like, if you wouldn't do it for love, what would you do it for? Money? Damn, what's your name? Damn, man. What's that? The ops. Oh, the ops know me. If you only knew how much I was struggling to read that. The ops know me. God damn. The ops know me. What up, my dude? I was about to fuck that name up. Bad. Please pardon me. I was about to do your name dirty. Like, how was I gonna pronounce that? So I had to go to the know me part. Then I said, wait a minute. So if I can get the know me part, then the beginning has to make more sense to me. I got you. I got you, my dude. We talking about gotta let a man be a man. So we talking about what defines manhood and what do we mean and what are we saying when we say that you gotta let a man be a man? What are we talking about? Jason says, wait a minute, wait. Jasmine says there's a woman out there that are proud to do that too. What, change for a man? Because I hear so much opposition to it. Like, you don't let no man change you. You don't change for no man. You don't do this for a man. You don't do that for a man. I'm like, well, who you gonna do it for? Who you gonna do it for? Shit, even Jesus is a man. Jason says Jasmine is right. There are some women who think that emasculating a man is a flex in their mind. Wait a minute, I'm sorry. So Jasmine is right. There are some women who think that emasculating a man is a flex. In her mind, it speaks to who's in control. And that's an actual fact. And it's sad that that's what we're working with out here. That's sad as fuck. But it's something that we got to deal with. Control. And you got to watch out, man. You got to be mindful of how people act and the way that they move. Because somebody can be disappointed in something that somebody did before you that don't have nothing to do with you. And somehow they use an excuse that everybody's going to pay for what one person did. Most people claim to never participate in anything like that. And some people do it on the low and just never say shit, but you feel it. I don't know, Maverick. I don't know. But when you find them, you let me know. You're on the internet. I'm sure it shouldn't be hard to find as long as you're willing to swipe your card. It shouldn't be that hard. It shouldn't be that hard. Jasmine says, son, as to what you are. Well, wait. Oh, son, as to what you was just now talking about, I would tell the person to go back to the drawing board and recultivate things and find out who they are, because if not, they are going to have a rough go. Okay. And Tori says that's why the dating scene is messy. Sex and money complicate things. Get back to the basics. Be different. What are the basics? I mean, I just want to make sure I understand what you're saying. Like, are you saying that that a relationship without sex can flourish? A relationship where sex is either non-existent or limited, and where there is no money exchanged or whatever? Oh, a relationship between adults where there's no sex? You can count me all the way out. Not interested in that. I did that when I was a teenager. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I would never be in a relationship where I'm not having sex. Like, that's the hair getting pulled back. You know what I mean? Like, we not doing that. We not. Like, I'm sorry. You keep your celibacy and your abstinence to yourself, because that's not that hard to do. I'm just saying. Adults should be able to incorporate what adults do, whether it's sex, whether it's finances, whether it's a meeting of the minds, whether it's a lot of things. If sex is the thing that separates the two of you, then that's probably a product of you having unrealistic expectations about what sex is or what it's supposed to be. And there are plenty of people out here like that. But I'm like, if you haven't figured out how men and women work in relation to each other by now, like by a certain age, like what's the use in being an adult if you still have the expectations of a child? I'm seriously, what's the use in having years and experience under your belt, but you haven't figured out how to incorporate adult activity into it? Sex is not everything, but it is an adult thing. So, and so is money. So I wouldn't encourage anybody to be irresponsible with either. But you should be able to get both of them in. You should be able to work both of them in. Tori says, I was married 31 years since I was 19. The streets is wild now. The streets was wild then. I was definitely around 31 years ago. I was playing it right in my 20s. And it was wild as shit then. But I had to learn. I had to live. I was going to make it through one way or another. Trust in the Lord. Jasmine says, it kind of seems like sex is still a bit of a taboo subject, LOL, even in these modern times. I mean, it's as taboo as you make it. I always feel like sexual activity or sexual conversation should be the potatoes, not the meat. The meat should be the love. The meat should be the communication. The meat should be the understanding. The meat should be the compromise. The meat should be the mutual respect. That's the meat. Sex is the potatoes. You know what I mean? You can't build a healthy relationship on a sexual foundation. But if you have a good foundation, how does sex not be in it? It's the potatoes. Animals out in the wild, carnivorous animals, they eat meat without the potatoes. Human beings, we need the potatoes. That's a good one too, passion. Got to watch out for the word passion, because for some people, passion is all sex. For other people, passion is anger. You know what I mean? Like crimes of passion. You know what I'm saying? We know passion is supposed to be energy. It's supposed to be drive. It's supposed to be fervor. But you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Improper English languages with our people can, get a whole lot of shit fucked up. Literally and figuratively. Jason says they ain't experimenting with celibacy when they with me, damn it. Yo. Hold on, let me get these symbols back. Matter of fact, now fuck the symbols. I'll tell you what. We got the hold on, Let me take these off. I just got these rings repaired. I don't want to fuck them up again. Yes. I got the meat. Give me potatoes. Be my potatoes, baby. Be my potatoes. Just, and both should be clearly communicated and clearly understood at all times. I don't know about all times. But you should be striving to get there. You should be striving to get there. I definitely wholeheartedly believe that. Joe J. Joe. Wait, Joe J.D. said. Okay, do you believe that a man who allows his wife to take the lead in the relationship is neglecting his responsibility as a father figure? Well, we was just talking about that, like what that means as far as emasculating is concerned. Now, if she's taking the lead because he won't, or she's taking the lead because he's down and not trying to pick himself up, the question stands to be asked, like, what is she supposed to do? Let the whole family go down because he won't get his shit together? So I don't know that okay, you ask, is a man who allows his wife to take the lead in a relationship is neglecting his responsibility as a father figure? I'm going to have to say, yeah. Because if she's taking the lead in not only just finances, but keeping the family together, you know, making sure that everything is taken care of, making sure that the kids are well adjusted, making sure that the house is literally in order. I mean, dude is asking for emasculation. He cruising for emasculation. Like, please come down on me. No Diddy. Pause. No homo. I don't know. I just don't think that's a good idea. Jasmine says, by all times, I mean, sometimes I might not be a book. I mean, wait. It might not be a look. Sometimes it might be a look. Sometimes you just might be. Sometimes you just might be a wave. I don't know. I think I understand what you're saying. It's that Sukkah mom. What is your stand on Palestine or Israel? I want to say this, and I hope that I don't offend any of the viewing or listening audience. But I want to say, I'm going to say this from the bottom of my heart. Fuck Israel. Fuck all of Israel. And unfortunately, I have a sister who lives in Israel and who has a family in Israel. Okay. Except for them. Fuck Israel. And maybe part of them too. Let me make myself clear. Fuck Israel. Israel can suck on a pipe bomb. Like I said, I hope I didn't offend my listening and viewing audience. But I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Fuck those baby killing genocidal bastards. All right. So, Jasmine says, I even seen like young military couples like unknowingly or just indirectly go through that too because of the man being away for too long. Well, see, that's if you're not having sex because of separation, all right, that's one thing. It's a whole different, that shit hit harder when y'all see each other every day, y'all sleeping in the same bed. Yo. Hey, yo. Jason says, Jasmine, that's why so many military men are not the biological fathers of their children. Yeah, but another military man is. All right. Where we at? Oh, we still got a little bit of time left. All right. Make sure y'all hit the like button, y'all. We doing good on the likes. Please keep the likes up. Keep the likes up. Keep the likes up. Please, 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 please. Please, 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 please. Jasmine says, I used to live in a small town that was Navy, and that was just rampant. Man, you know the military motherfuckers is trifling. Trifling. Yo. And you know what I think is so ill? They know how much of a strain it is on military families to be together all the time, especially when the person that's actually enlisted is out in the fields, maybe on tours and shit like that. Yet, in the military, cheating on your spouse is totally prohibited, totally forbidden, and you can fuck up your whole military career because you cheated. Yet the whole shit is designed to put a strain on fidelity. But you gotta let a man be a man, right? You gotta let a man be a man, right? Oh shit. Marvina says truck driving husband home 2 days a week and find it hard to lead, be gone. So, you know, man, truck drivers, they be chasing the bacon. They be chasing that money up for all those hours. That shit, what a life. What a life. Truck drivers shave years off of their life. Okay. Suka Mom says, it must be weird to have family members living in Israel. Glad to see you see things right. Listen, man, there's some things I would say if I wasn't on this show. But they'll flag me if I say my true feelings about Israel and its contents. I know a little too much. See, my daddy married a Jew. Not an Israeli Jew. A regular American, European ancestry Jew. Last name Edelman. Her first marriage was to an African dude. I ain't gonna go into all that. Anyway, her and my dad got married. And they had my sister in 1982. November 17th, 1982. So she'll have a birthday coming up soon. So what had happened was my baby sister really loved her mother and her white side. You know how it go. You know the struggle that mixed kids be having. So she tried to be on the white side. Total struggle her whole life. Went to the best schools. She went to Mequon. If you live in the Philadelphia area, you know what I'm talking about. Maybe. She went to the Mequon school, and then she went to Abington Friends. If you know anything about that, she went to pretty much the tops of the pops when it comes to private schools. And, you know, Abington Friends has a high population of Jewish students. You know what I'm saying? So, and, you know, there's so much of this shit. Anyway, so my baby sister spent her whole life trying to be a Jew. Had a bat mitzvah. I remember I went to the bat mitzvah. I went to this bat mitzvah, right? And I remember he gave the rabbi at the end of the ceremony, gave my sister the Jew card. They have an actual Jewish calling card. Or should I say Jew calling card? You know, because, you know, they put on that ish shit. They used to just be called Jews. Then I guess that was supposed to sound derogatory because they was making it into a verb. Like, he Jewed you. So they, you know, had the Jewish thing. They added on the ISH. So, yeah, I remember he gave her the Jew card and told her, may it bring you many opportunities. And when I told people that over the years, and they was like, no, it's no such thing as no Jew card. I was like, yes, it is. Yes, it is. I saw it. I didn't see just the presentation. After everything was said and done, I was like, let me see that joint. Yeah, there's an actual card. So you go anywhere in the world and you need help, they got a card for you. Card carrying Jew. And so then she moved to Israel when she got in like her 20s. She moved to Israel. I guess trying to find her Jewish ancestry, you know. And then she found her husband over there, got married and all. And that's why she's over there. Speaks fluent Hebrew and all of those shit. And it's so much to this shit, but that's why she's over there. But whether she's over there or not, I know my history. And did I say fuck Israel? Because I meant to say that. If I forgot to say fuck Israel, then, you know, let me make sure that I take care of that. All right. And fuck Bibi Netanyahu. Fuck Benjamin Netanyahu. Nah, son. Benjamin Netanyahu, son. Benjamin Netanyahu, son. All right. Read the rest of these comments, man. Then we're going to do these birthday shout outs and get on up out of here. All right. Dave Figueroa says, not to get off topic, but I haven't paid attention to the whole Israel and Palestine thing. Who is Israel? Are they terrorists? And what did they do to Palestine? I'm out of the loop and all of that ish. Well, here's what you need to know about Israel. Israel was a state, was a Jewish state created or given to the Holocaust victims when World War II was won, because and honestly, it was because nobody in Europe cared about the Jews either. So it wasn't just Hitler who didn't like the Jews. Nobody else liked the Jews either. And that hasn't really changed. So they gave the Jews what they call Israel as if they had it to give. When you really read the history of this shit, you're like, so they just gave them a territory and called it Israel? And this is where they supposed to set up shop? So the Palestinians was initially cool with Israel. Like, all right, well, y'all down here, whatever. I mean, we could all hang out. But that's not what Israel wanted. They wanted the whole territory. And that's why they've been fighting. It's a mess. It's a mess. You can go right here on YouTube and just look up the creation of Israel after World War II. It'll tell you everything you need to know. All right. Marvina says, like card carrying Native American, interesting. No, it's not the same. Not the same at all. Native Americans, like nobody don't care about no Native American card. What do they have? What that's going to do? Give you $5 of coins in an Indian casino or some shit? That shit ain't worth nothing. You got a Jew card? Shit. That shit is like a Black American Express. I ain't lying. I lied. Jasmine says, what's sad is the fact that a small, minuscule percentage of people, because of meaningless, once ridiculous ideas, can turn people's minds for their entire group sometimes. Jasmine says, I think it's crazy also, too, that they don't call themselves Israelites. They call themselves Israelis. I'm just saying. Son, don't do it. Son, don't do it. Son, don't do it. Son. Don't say what you know and what you feel, because that shit is going to give you out here and get you killed. Sometimes I keep my thoughts to myself. Gotta keep it to myself just to protect my health. Physical and mental health, you know how it go. I'ma shut my mouth tonight. Yo, we can talk about it maybe at a different time. Came here to talk about fathers tonight and the crime of passion. Yo, make sure mashing. Yo, manhood is up here and I'm tired of the bashing. I'm trying to make sure that we all win, and it's going to start right now. Let's begin. My name is O-M-A-R. I'm Real Star. I'm going high up in the sky and hope I don't die before I make my mark. I'm about to light a spark, and we going to get it popping 2 a.m. after dark. For about 2 hours, it's 4 a.m. right now, and night's about to go down. Tomorrow night, we will be back right here, and I hope that you come through. Yeah. All right. Okay, all right. Read the rest of these comments. Jason says, did you know that Netanyahu went to Cheltenham High School? I know he did. He did, son. And that's the fucking problem. This motherfucker is all American. They ain't real. That's the problem with Israel. Israel ain't real. Israel ain't real. It ain't real, son. It ain't real. Fucking PB Netanyahu, that mother. Hi. Jasmine says, and they did it to the Palestinian people. They did to the Palestinian people what was done to them. No, nobody did. Now we would think, but no, sadly, they just totally murdered and stole, and worse. Yep, it started in 1946 or 48. One of them. Dave says, "Good looks. I'm gonna watch it after this." That's what's up. Mom says, "Yeah, I can't go to the casino with my card." Jasmine said, "You better not, cause I'm not down with them either. I'm just making casual observation, as it were." Oh, ugh. Say it, son. Just say star. Just say star, people, and whatever you say would just be a story. Oh my God, y'all just ugh. Shit is disgusting, man. Just disgusting. It's just nasty, real nasty. You know. All right, here's what we're gonna do. Let's go ahead and do these birthday shout outs. We have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious September 18th, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and making them feel special because they are special because they are special because they are SPECIAL. We get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. We get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. We get the RESPECT. They get number one out the box, Rob Brodus. Happy birthday to you, and also Nikita White. And one of our favorite go-getters, Brian Carter, known as Magnificent Morocco when he comes through. And also Gigi, Nana, Sonny, Boy, Gabriel Davis. That's her name. Happy birthday to you. And Lakeisha Johnson, Denise Meehan, Tashana Solomon, my man Alfred Duckworth, Bridget Brown, Christina Serrano, longtime go-getter Pamela K. Oates, and she's raising money for for Autism Speaks. Last but not least, I want to say happy birthday to all of y'all, and I hope that today finds you all in good health, happiness, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And that goes out to each and every person out there born on this glorious September 18th, anywhere out there in the world, worldwide, internationally, and universally. All of y'all go ahead and turn up. But don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock out. Rock on and do the rock out. Rock on and do the damn rock out. Rock on and do the damn thing. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours, and remember, yeah, we came through to express how we trying to figure out the crazy ass mess. What makes manhood? What makes a real man? We talk about all of these things because we can, and we will continue to bring the funk. I'm just trying to find out what makes a man have spunk. And the trunk is going to get full. I'm trying to figure out how come we think it's a lot of bull when somebody says let a man be a man, or a man's going to do what a man's got to do. And he's going to come through if he takes care of you and everybody in his fam. But that's who I am. I give a damn what the next man thinks about how taking care of my family and Philip Sinks with the water and all of the greens. Watch the motherfucker. We about to eat nice, my team. My team is whoever is down for the cause, and I'm going to make sure that I come through and represent for y'all and all of y'all. And I'm not leaving no child left behind, no adults either. I say whether the sun is in the sky or is dark tonight, we going to make sure we get it right. I keep my game tight. I keep my gun on my hip and make sure, watch out for what I say out my lips, because that's what a man was taught to do. And my father taught me that shit, my stepdad too. And I listened to them, maybe not at the time. I had to find my own way, but I realized they play by a different set of rules and fools as somebody who doesn't listen to the elders. Listen, I'm going to tell you, they will always tell you the truth because they want to see you advance and have a decent chance. And they gave me that. And so my ancestors is something that I made sure that I'm going to pray, and they at the place where I know I'm going to be. But right now I'm in the physical and spiritual. We going to see at another time. Hope it doesn't come soon because I got a lot of work to do right now. But I hope that y'all come through tomorrow night. We're going to have some music and we're going to get right. On Friday nights, we start the show at 1 a.m. and we talk about music. It's always a music show on Friday nights. So make sure y'all come through 1 a.m. tomorrow night instead of 2 a.m. 1 a.m. tomorrow night instead of 2 a.m. And we're going to have that good conversation about a musical topic. And it's always light and it's always fun and it's always informative. You know what I mean? It's just a good Friday look. It gives us a chance to unwind, blow off steam, and get our shit off. Peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death, resuscitate y'all, and love y'all right back to life. Like I said, we will be back tomorrow night on Fridays, 1 a.m., not 2 a.m. So make sure y'all come on through. And I hope to see you there. I holla. Peace, y'all. All right.